everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about cream and blush, even, no, that's not even the word I was looking for, powder highlighters, just because I've been such a fanatic with highlighters at the minute and I've just been non-stop going to them, so I thought I would show you a bunch of my favourites. I'm also going to show you how I apply them as well, how they personally work best for me. So I'm going to start off with the cream highlighters first. So I have two here that are technically cast as primers. The first one is the MAC Strobe Cream and the second one is the Loreal Lumi Magique base, which is like the primer. These two are dupes for each other in my personal opinion. They give kind of the same luminescence, I suppose, the same kind of colour range, and I use this underneath my face products just because it gives me that really nice illuminated skin for then like foundation and concealer to go on to. Next I have the sleek Bare Kissed Illuminator in the shade of Monaco, and this is kind of like pretty much like the standard highlighter in my opinion, so something that looks quite white with a pinky pearly undertone, and this for me is just a beautiful product because you can use it kind of over the top of makeup, especially if you're going for quite a dewy look, and also underneath makeup. But for me personally, I tend to use liquid products underneath my makeup just to give that kind of glow beforehand. The next one, actually no, I'm going to go for the other one because the other two are kind of in the same category. The next one is one from MUA, and this is only £3 and you get 20 mils of product in here, so a lot of product for your money. And this is in the shade of Oyster, and this is just an illuminated liquid glow, but I love this because this just works so well with my skin tone. Like, it's a really beautiful kind of, I don't even know if you guys can see this on here, I'll do close-ups for you, but it's just a really nice pinky bronzy look, but it just suits my skin tone so beautifully and it makes it look even more tanned, and it's just stunning, and the pigment of it is beautiful. The next two I have here from the cream section are actually kind of like stick ones, I suppose. So the first one is the Instant Radiance Bronzing Highlighter from No7, and again I use this for more when I'm tanned, just because when I put it on my skin when I'm quite pale it just looks a bit muddy, I suppose, but this is just a beautiful soft bronzy look. Now this feels quite powdery actually, so I can get away with putting this on top of powder, which is awesome because you can use it underneath as well, but this just adds like the most beautiful colour. Another one I love as well is actually from New Look, and this is their Pure Colour highlighter stick in the shade of Gold as well. Now this for me isn't gold like at all. I don't know if you, again, it's just here. It is slightly gold when the light hits it, but looking at it, it's quite a pale peachy colour, but when you blend it in it does actually turn quite gold. And the same principle with the No7 one, I get away with putting it over top powder products because it feels quite powdery anyway, so I love that again, just for it suits my skin tone so beautifully. When it comes to applying highlighters, again I just pretty much use a foundation brush, especially if I'm using them as kind of like a primer or a base before I put any foundation and concealer on, or I'll just kind of blot it in with a beauty blender. But in terms of kind of application, I don't really use all that much. So moving on to powder highlighters, which are the ones that I use more frequently. These ones are just honestly my favourite ones that I've tried so far in my collection, and I just always go to. So I'll start with the biggest one first. This is the Gosh Giant Sun Powder in 001, and I do believe these only have just one standard shade, but this is a humongous product which I've kind of spoke about a lot before. You get 28 grams of product in here, and I'll just compare that with the 10 grams that you get in a MAC highlighter. You get a lot for your money, and it's in the drugstore, and Gosh are just a wonderful brand anyway. But this is kind of a, well actually the only way I can describe it, apparently this is a dupe for Becca's Champagne Pop. It has a really beautiful peachy undertoned, but it's still quite bronzy at the same time. It's not kind of so saturated in colour, but it just melts into the skin, so you don't have that kind of overly powdered look, which I love. So I love this little guy. Next is one from Freedom Makeup, and I do believe these are kind of related to Makeup Revolution and MUA that we have here in the UK and anywhere else in the world, I guess. But this one here is their Pro Highlight in the shade of Glow, and this is a beautiful peach undertoned kind of, I don't know if yellow's the word to use, but that's what it looks like. It just looks like a yellowy kind of peachy undertoned highlight, I suppose. But again, this works really well with me because I have quite neutral tones in my skin, so this works incredibly well for that. And these are so cheap, and they are really pigmented and kind of soft on the skin as well. Like, they don't pick up any kind of lumps and bumps. And next one from MUA, this is one I've recently just picked up, and this has been my favorite. Like, oh my god, I am so in love with this. I have it on, I don't know if you guys can see, but again, like I said, I don't really like that overly like illuminated look, but this is their Undress Your Skin shimmer highlighter in the shade of Radiant Cashmere. Oh my god, it is just so beautiful. And actually, in my personal opinion, this is a dupe for MAC Soft and Gentle. The texture of these as well, slightly a bit more rough than kind of some of the other ones I'm going to mention. They just feel a bit more chunky, that's all, but they blend beautifully, and this is just one of my favourite products. Like, I know it's going to be one of my favourite products. Next is a sleek highlighting palette in the shade of Solstice. I have recently just picked up the I think it's Cleopatra's Kiss or something like that. I really do not like it, like, at all. There was so much hype around it, and of course it made me buy it, and I just ended up hating it. I don't know what it was. The colours were off, the pigment wasn't great, and I just thought, meh. But anyway, this is one of my favourite ones. More so, these two top ones here, which is kind of this yellowy one and a beautiful peachy one that comes off, oh, so beautiful. But these feel like velvet on the skin. I don't reach for these two as much down the bottom just because I don't really like purpley highlighters, but these are so beautiful, and again, really nice. They melt into the skin, kind of don't accentuate any lumps and bumps or texture that we have on the skin. And how cute is the packaging, apart from the fact it gets dirty real quick. Then I have MAC's Lightscapade, and this is one of their mineralise skin finishes, and I love this. Again, it gives a really beautiful subtle glow without being too in your face. For me personally, I feel like this would match like every skin tone, maybe anyway, but it's just a beautiful illuminated soft product, and I love this, especially if you're going for a really dramatic eye. Probably should have used it today, I think, but it just adds a really nice illuminated look to your face whilst being subtle. So woo. The next one I'm sure is no surprise, and this is the Mary Luminizer from the Balm. This, it doesn't really need much explanation. Beautiful kind of champagne colour. It really buildable if you did want to go for that really dramatic highlight, but for me this is just a stunning colour, and I love this so much. I've used this a ton, haven't hit pan yet, and like I said, it's really soft to apply, melts into the skin. Next is the Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator from Loreal in the shade of Gilded Honey. Why I had to look at the name, I don't know, because it's been imprinted into my brain. It is literally just glorious goldness and beautifulness. Absolutely stunning this product is. Again, I feel like this product has a bit more texture to it, so it feels quite a little bit rough, and it took me forever to get my hands on this, so I have to love it. And then last, I've kind of kept my favourite until last, and this is a recently new product from Loreal, so it is drugstore, which is awesome, but this is their Laura highlighter. This is what it looks like, and again, this is just a really beautiful gold colour, which I've swatched so many on my hand, I can't remember which one was which. And the reason I love this is because I can apply this to my skin, not have it look over the top. You can build up this product if you wanted to, but the colour and the texture of it and how it melts, literally melts into the skin, is just nobody's business. And for me personally, I use this with a damp beauty blender, so that I kind of just dab it in, and then we'll dab it on the sides, and it lasts all day without you looking kind of like greasy or anything like that. This is hands down my favourite product. I'm yet to try any of the Becca ones, but this is a hidden gem, and I'm so glad that I picked this guy up. Mwah. When you touch it, it feels quite damp, but then when you blend it onto the skin, it goes into a powder, and I heard that this is kind of like the ColourPop highlighters as well in terms of the consistency. So the best way I like to apply these, again with this one more so, or any sort of like other cream one, I'll tend to use a beauty blender and just dab it onto the cheekbones, on the cupid's bow, wherever else. Just some other ones, if I really want to pack on the highlight, I tend to use a little domed brush like this. This is from Girls with Attitude, and this kind of just fits nicely on the cheekbone, really packs in the product. But other than that, I tend to use the Real Techniques fan brush, which looks like this, and what this does is it just applies kind of like a nice even layer of product, which you can literally just swoop across. So that was everything from the highlight department for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you've tried any of these, let me know how you fared with them and kind of how you found the best way to apply them. And if you have some other recommendations, leave them down in the comments below so that I can try them, and so can anyone else who's watching this video. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.